I'm Peter.
I'm Lori. We're with Heroes. Forgot to announce that. We're about to go see,
Peppermint.
which I know nothing about, so I'm going in totally blind for this movie. So,
I've seen some trailers. I can't wait.
Oh, okay. Now this will be interesting. All right, Bumblebee, you can take it now.
Okay. This is Lori Collins,
This is Peter Collins.
and we are here to review the movie Peppermint.
Yeah. So as you saw from the little video clip I had from last night, we saw it last night together. First time?
First time.
So do you want to give your thoughts first, or do you want to give me my thoughts first, or what do you want to do?
You know what? You go first.
You want me to go first this time?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Peppermint's an action film starring Jennifer Garner. I think it is interesting. This is one of the rare times I went into a movie and I know absolutely zero about it. I hadn't seen any previews. I hadn't read anything about it. I didn't even know it existed until walking up to the theater last night. So I always hear it's a good thing to go into a movie like that. You get like a full experience now. So it was like an action movie. Jennifer Garner, I can see the selling point of this, why it got created. But for me personally, I came out of the movie, the question I asked, why not just make an Alias movie? You know, you're getting Jennifer Garner back into action, which is something she's really good at, and it's great to see her doing it again. But there are a few things that I found wanting in this movie. I wouldn't consider it a bad movie, but I would have liked a little bit more. And I can get into that. Do you want to give your opinion on it?
Yeah. Now, I really like Jennifer Garner in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I did think there were some issues here and there, but it's okay. I was fine with it. I had not seen Jennifer Garner in Alias.
Okay. I asked you that last night if you ever saw the series, and you said you saw.
I saw bits and pieces here and there, but I
Okay.
just kind of was walking through the room more or less.
And actually what occurred to me is Alias is a kind of show you have to start from the beginning. It's very serialized. So really, it sucks you in. That first episode sucks you in and you go through it. I only did just watch one season of it. I didn't get further than that. But it was a really good series, and I do recommend checking it out for that. And which is why it's exciting to have her back, because she was so great in that series. And really, a lot of the elements that was special about her action scenes in that series are in this, that she does, she brings back to this, so that's exciting about the movie.
Okay, see, the last time I saw her in anything action-wise was when she was Elektra.
Oh, right.
Which is a play off of Daredevil.
Daredevil, right. She was in the Daredevil movie too, right, as that character, wasn't she?
Right at the end, she left more or less, I think, a ribbon or something to say to announce her presence, sort of like an Easter egg. But you know, of course, the funny thing is that at one point I had met them both.
Yeah.
At their son's birthday
party. Oh, she was
party.
there too. I didn't realize. Why wouldn't she be?
She was there. It was really good. He dressed up as Batman because. You know, of course, you know, he's Batman now.
And you were there.
I was there as a character.
We at Heroes, character rental service, do this. This is your business, basically, that I help out.
Right.
You know.
And so one company called me, and we provided Iron Man, and we went and. But at that time, we shouldn't really get too.
You're not going to get in trouble with DC and Marvel for mixing. Well, they'll get in trouble.
Yeah, they'll get in trouble. But until I actually saw the bat suit in person, I actually in all previews and everything, all the pictures that I saw, I hated that bat suit. But when I saw it in person, when I saw it on him, I'm glad I had a helmet on because my mouth has dropped and I was just like, that's a nice suit.
Yeah. So, and of course, you know, we deal with superhero suits. That's the business here. It's you know.
But going back to Jennifer Garner, I was kind of not totally really interacting with her, but just there and watching her interact with her friends and stuff like that. and she is just a sweetheart. So I'm glad to see that she's back in this kind of thing, and you know, in movies again and doing her thing.
Yeah, I will say I have seen her. She's done quite a few dramatic roles, and she did a comedy role like right after coming out of Alias and Electra. That was particularly good, and she's a very charismatic actress and very good. I can't remember the movie, but a dramatic scene she was really wonderful in. So she, you know, I've been impressed with her acting as well outside of the action genre. So it's, you know, she's a good, you know, I'd like to see her doing more stuff. It was nice seeing her do a variety, but it's nice to see her back in action as well.
Right. Well, you can almost tell whenever she's on the screen that she does have a wide range. So she does have really great acting chops.
And you know, one of the things, like for me, there are quite a few weaknesses in this movie that, thankfully for her, she saves the movie a bit, but I don't think she can save it completely. For me, some of the weaknesses, I thought the characters were too generic and a little bland. There's actually a good explanation of this. There's another YouTube channel called Nerd Writer. This guy's brilliant, and he talks about comparing Marvel films to the DC Comics films and how the characters' personalities and how they portray them in the Marvel films works so much better than DC Comics because they don't really focus on that aspect of their characters enough. And that's kind of what's going on here. I don't feel these characters have an inner life. I had to write something else down what I was going to say about them. You know, their characteristics. It was kind of like a general family. She's a general working mom with a general husband and a general kid. And unfortunately, the husband and the daughter get killed by a gang. And she goes on this journey, 5 years. She disappears for 5 years and then comes back and gets her vengeance on them. And so...
Well, you know, with that, she disappears for 5 years. So we're not, like we said, we like, our goal is to review a movie without telling you too much about the movie. But what we are telling you now is more or less in the trailer.
So yeah, so we're trying to keep it to the trailer. I'm not trying to
setting up the movie. It's setting up the movie for you.
Well, that's what the movie's about. So
because she goes away for 5 years, and she kind of trains and gets herself ready to take
She goes through some ordeals, but another thing is the movie kind of hints at them, but doesn't really explain exactly what she went through. And you see some things, and it's like, okay, I can get why she is like she is now and able to survive a lot of things, but it doesn't tell. It doesn't. I think I would have liked a little more information about what actually happened when she went away, and just a little more personality to the characters. All of the characters really is what I needed. And I'll say this really quick because, like, for me, personality and character can go a long way. I can forgive all kind of crazy plot twists and ridiculousness if I like the characters, if I connect with them, if I engage with them, if they have personality and pretty much it's really, for me, it's just working off the charisma, what she has as charisma as an actress and as a star, rather than giving the characters kind of a life. So.
Well, you see, now, what I did like, I actually agree with you. I would have liked to have seen some of the things that she went through.
Yeah.
However, I'm okay with not actually seeing her go through these things because I like the way they moved the movie along.
Okay.
They just kept moving.
Yeah, it could. You don't want to drag things down as well, but I have seen movies that have been able to.
What they did was they did do like little back clips where
flashbacks.
They found out she was into this because they found something on the internet about something that she did. So with doing a few of those things, it gave you the sense that, okay, well then she must have done this too, and she must have done that.
Yeah.
So I was able to go, okay, she did these things.
You filled in the blanks.
Right.
Yeah.
But now, I think one of the things that I did like, at first when I was sitting through the movie, I was like, I don't like that. I don't like that.
Okay.
And that was some of her. Well, I kind of have to maybe give this. I don't know, but it's how she was.
Oh, really?
She didn't know how to totally be off the grid. She didn't know how to totally hide herself.
Okay.
Okay. But then I had to say to myself, well, wait a minute. You know, a young mother, married, you know, whole life ahead of her, but they're struggling and everything.
Yeah.
So she had to go do this, and probably pretty much on a thread of money. She had to go do this, and so she didn't get the full-on going undercover kind of thing, because throughout the movie you start looking and going, wow, she did that. Wow, she did. So you see her mistakes.
She's leaving a trail, but they don't choose to acknowledge that. It's like, okay, people would pick up on that.
Right. And there are other things that where she is leaving a trail, like you said, you know, through, you know, we now know we have in airports and different places, not just videotape, but we have face recognition.
Okay.
And they go through all of that, which I'm glad to see that they said our bureau, our police force are not stupid. Here's what went on.
Okay.
So and they weren't saying she was stupid. They were just saying she didn't get all of that training. You know, she got enough training to do what she was going to do.
To plot her revenge, basically.
Right. So I think that's one of the, for me, that was something endearing about the movie.
Okay.
Is that she went on this 5-year hiatus to train and get ready for this, and a normal person who would take something like this is how they would come back. They just, it's just, am I going to get this? Am I going to get that? Am I going to get this?
This is what I need to do, so I'm going to train for those purposes. I don't need to become all around badass.
Because remember, her motive is to get the bad guy. It's not to have to get away with it. She can get the bad guy, and then hey, that's it. I'm done.
I like that point of in the movie too. So now that I think of it, I will say I want to talk about the action scenes. I thought it had good action scenes. It's like I said, it was great to see Jennifer Garner back in action because she's really good at action. And one of the things I noticed about her, and I noticed this from Alias, is like she plays hurt, she plays pain. Like in the way one of the reasons I love like Harrison Ford is like he plays he's not just doing all this stuff and he's like fresh as a daisy and keeps going. It's like when they get injured, you know, they're working through it and still going, and just finds whatever that strength within them to keep going. And so I kind of love that. It wasn't always like pretty action, like, you know, sometimes people are doing these things and all of a sudden they land incredibly some way. I mean, she falls on her back and hurts herself, and it's more realistic in that respect. So I thought it was a good action, maybe not memorable action, but a good action flick though.
Yeah, you know, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because there's this one scene where she has to kind of fall or get away from gunfire. And there isn't that magical bunch of boxes or you know, the roof of this car or something like that for her to land on. It's like, no, you're getting ready to land on some pavement here. And that's just it, you know. And she's kind of like,
she doesn't
I gotta get away. I gotta get. I can't get shot, but so I have to jump, and that there isn't a bunch of boxes, or, you know, I'm not in a pillow factory, you know. So I really like that they did that.
We're gonna hold for a second here because I just see. Be right back. I'm gonna edit. Oh, this is it. It's Layla. Okay.
This what?
Layla. I'll cut it. Well, I'll edit that out. The other dog she doesn't like. Okay. So I'm back, Seth. So I do want. There are two scenes that I kind of stuck out for me as kind of, you know, without the lack of personality, but like I said, her charisma, her delivery, and everything probably carried. And just the scenes were kind of fun and cool in a way. And there was a scene in a liquor store, and the scene with her former neighbor, were kind of like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. You know, how she handled those situations. Even though I'm going to get into some like problematic issues that I have with this movie, beyond its quality, and whether, you know, there were some overall themes that kind of like maybe raise an eyebrow. So,
well, you know, I like a plot twist.
Yeah.
There is actually a small plot twist in this.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
And I really like the way they developed that and brought it to you, because to me, I just never saw it coming. But I am really interested in hearing the detractions that you have.
You're interested in hearing detractions. I will say, yeah, I thought the plot twist was pretty good. They did. You can think back to it. They did set it up, but kind of like the initial act, that one of the initial acts that kind of clued to lay the clue down, though, didn't make sense to me why that act was committed in the process. But you know, it's like, okay, so we can make sure this twist works at the end. Right. So I thought that was, for me, that was a little off. But so the problems I have with this movie, and I always look at this kind of big picture, like if there's any overarching themes in films that are relevant to life, society, what's going on now. And kind of what I noticed with this film is it's about, and I hope I don't get into too much plot, you know, you have this white, struggling working class family who are victimized by Latino gangsters, and so in our social political world, and I get deep. I'm going to get deeper into this. That you know, okay, you know, there's a little bit I can forgive. It's a movie, you know. You got to have bad guys and stuff, and I'm up for everybody.
There's all kinds of jokes running around.
You know, no. But anybody who colludes with the minorities gets taken out. Yeah. And
but, you know, even our President Trump says that all the minorities that come across the border, that they're the bad guys, so and they're the murderers and they're the drug dealers, so
right, exactly. So that's exactly what I'm kind of like. What is this? This movie, I think, in a way, kind of feeds into that white fear, that white working class fear that's going on right now. That the minorities are the ones that are the bad guys, and you know, and she takes out all of them, and anybody who assisted them. Gets anybody who are not minorities that assisted them gets taken out by her. And it's almost like, you know, I'm going to spare these people, but they need to straighten themselves out. You know, our people need to straighten themselves out. Right. You know, and now, and it's probably not completely fair, because on the law enforcement side, you have the original detective who helped her in her case, who was white, his partner who was Latino, senior partner, and then there's a black female FBI agent that comes into play. And so, but you know, those things, I mean, like, it just makes me think and raise an eyebrow. It's like, it's not a good look, you know.
You know, kind of going back, as I was watching the movie, I was going,
and I could be mistaken, maybe I missed a few things. It's like, okay, well, it's more of an equal opportunity killings going on, but it was like, and Trump's America, this kind of looks like there could be a message going on here for, you know.
Well, you know what? To be fair.
Yeah.
To be fair, if there is a black gang doing something, they are pretty much all black.
Right, I get that.
If there is a Hispanic gang doing something,
right,
it's pretty much all that.
I got you.
Okay. that they are showing that there are feelers or other people who might be supporting it or also in it to do something, they would be there with their own culture, because and it's kind of like
in this movie the people helping though there are white people that do help the gang, and they get taken out. I'm just
but in that, just kind of like you said, is that but that white group, they're not down and dirty. They're the suits.
They are. That's true.
Yeah,
they're not. They're not gangsters. They're not cholos. They're not.
And they can.
They're not money laundering. They're in official positions, respectable positions, but because money is.
They only seemingly receive money.
Yeah.
For favors, but those lower, dirty, gritty guys. You come pay me when you want things right. It still follows some of the old things of this is how this is, but we also have to say in reality
I get that, and I get that. It's just like when I wouldn't probably call that into question except for the people she decides to spare. And it seems to be a message of straighten it up, act better, and you can, I'm not saying they intended to do this. I noticed by the credits, this is probably, my guess is to me, my final thing is this is a B movie trying to pretend it's an A movie. And they managed that. It looks like they got some Chinese producers to fund it so they can get Jennifer Garner and bring her back. But, I don't think it was a strong enough script otherwise to get done without all that connection. So, that's... But it just makes me, those little things just made me wonder, really. And maybe personally, I don't like conspiracy theories. I really don't. But I do tend to look at overarching themes in movies. And that one kind of bugged me. It just kind of it made me arch an eyebrow. It's like, I wonder, that's kind of intentional or not intentional. It just wasn't a good look for me.
But you know what? I think those things will stay, and somewhat be true to their nature, unless because this was like a. I don't know what the dope the drugs that they were selling.
I don't know.
So I can only figure, because it is based in LA, that they were selling cocaine.
Yeah, well, they looked like they had white bricks of stuff.
Okay,
could have been heroin. Who knows? I don't do that shit. Excuse my language.
Yeah. But until we get a movie where there's maybe
screen back up anyway.
Until they're maybe doing the drug dealers are doing meth. They are selling meth. Then we'll see the majority Caucasian.
Well, like I said, I don't have a problem with that. I don't, that's not where the problem is. Like I said, it's all these things kind of combined together. When you put them all together, it makes me kind of wonder. It just everything just kind of added up to something that I wasn't really half thrilled with. It's like, that can be there's just
But there was one thing that you just said just a few minutes ago that I definitely have to agree with, because I kind of looked at the movie and said, you know what, I really kind of like this movie. It's kind of good, but when I slept on it, it was kind of like, and so like you said, it's like a B movie dressed up to try to look like an A movie.
Much like she wears a disguise. She's trying to wear a disguise to disguise herself at one point in the movie, and it kind of doesn't work.
Yeah.
You know, and it's much like that. I think of that scene. It's like that's what this movie is trying to do, and it's not quite working. And you know, people in the theater applauded at the end of the movie. Like I said, you can enjoy it as an action film. There's a couple really good scenes. Jennifer Garner is at top form, doing action, and back in that, it's really fun to see. But yeah, and maybe my theory is completely off, but it was really curious to me.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree with you, and I think I enjoyed the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a $16 movie.
No, I wouldn't say that.
If you can go and see this movie on a discount day or something like that, or whatever, I would say, yeah, if you don't have something else to
if you don't have, you want to go to a movie, you want to see something, you can't decide, that's the only thing available, go see it. It's not, I don't think you have to run out and see it. If you're a Jennifer Garner fan, maybe, and if you want to see her back doing that type of work, you'll probably want to catch it, but I don't really, this is kind of reminds me of a movie, you're at home, cable, you're trying to find something on cable, you flip that on, it's on in the background. So,
right.
So.
Yeah, that movie can definitely be on in the background, and you'll
okay. You look up and like, you're kind of following along and stuff. But.
And even if you were to sit down and watch it, and then one day just have it on while you're doing your
cleaning
housework
or whatever,
and never really look up at it, it's like the perfect movie for that.
Yeah.
For me, one of the movies I just can't do that with. I can be walking through the house, having something to do in the backyard, know I need to get it done, and if it's in the middle of the movie Predator, I have to sit down and watch the rest of the movie.
Are you looking forward to the new Predator?
You know, I think I am.
Okay.
I hope it's really good. I didn't like Predator 2 at all.
Right.
To the point of I have never and I'm saying this, I have never seen it. I've never seen Predator 2 from beginning to end because it's unwatchable to me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've only seen the first one, and that was back when it came out, and so it's like I enjoyed it, but not enough. It wasn't like Alien and Aliens for me or something that I wanted to rewatch it over and over again. For me, that's me.
Yeah.
But I think this new movie looks exciting. I don't know if you know who Shane Black is, the director.
No.
You might want to look into his. I can't name any of his movies, but right off the bat, but he's done some things that have been kind of memorable, I believe. Yeah, and I can't remember them right now, but but he's like somebody that wasn't really on my radar until maybe a year ago and stuff. So he's got a particular style and capability that may make this possibly a good movie. So.
Well, I mean, it is a good movie. I am going to go see it. I look forward to it because I am a Predator fan. But like I said, I just couldn't see Predator 2.
Right.
The other thing that I am hoping is that this Predator 3 movie actually goes back to the source material and says, this is why they are here, and just seeing the standing that they have, some of the advertisement, it seems like they've said this is why they're here, but it also seems like maybe the Predator is now bigger than the old Predator.
Well, it looked like there's multiple ones in this.
Yeah, and it looks like, and so, I guess this goes to trailers now. I really like the trailers because the trailers make you look and make you say, I want to go see this movie. But then when you see the movie a lot of times is better than the trailers because sometimes the way they put the trailers, and they might voice over a part of the trailer that isn't voiced over in the movie. And makes you think it's a totally different movie.
Oh, totally different scenes and stuff like that. Yeah.
So now you go
trickeration going on,
and you're thinking this movie is heading down track 9, but it's actually barreling down track 10, and you're going, "Whoa! I didn't see this coming."
Okay.
I like
well,
that.
yeah. Before we spill off into Predator, so shall we wrap this one up?
Yeah. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being best, what would you give this movie?
I'm gonna have to give it like a 5.
Wow. Okay.
I'm not.
Okay.
I wasn't. I don't know.
Well, me, I'm going to be a little bit more generous.
Yeah.
It gets a 6.
Okay. You enjoyed it more. It's not like I didn't hate the movie. I didn't love it. I thought it had too many weaknesses for me that its strengths weren't able to overcome. So. Mm-hmm.
Very good. I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I just like a lot more of the scenes, but there are a couple of scenes that I just said, I don't think you could have that happen.
Mm-hmm.
Even in a happenstance, because they kind of give you the layout and topography of one of the areas, and then all of a sudden, it's as though it's straight and not undulating.
Okay, I'm not sure what you're getting at, but...
Well, we'll leave that for you guys to look at.
Yeah, so...
you might like it.
Oh, that's what I didn't get in. The title, Peppermint. Where they got the name. I mean, there's a reference. And it does one thing, it shows you rather than tells you. It doesn't hammer it over your head.
Well, the
title.
In the
and
trailer...
There's one other thing I wanted to bring up too, so.
It does say the little girl, her nickname is Peppermint.
Oh, okay. I didn't get that in the movie, though.
Yeah.
I missed it.
Yeah, well, there's something that they had... Well, there's one part in the trailer where...
I didn't see the trailer.
Okay, where the mother, Jennifer Garner, is telling the daughter, you have this in your head, you have this in your heart, and you have peppermints coming out your butt.
Oh, okay.
But her nickname, they call her, I think in the movie, Peppermint twice.
Okay, I missed that. I somehow that's on me. But I noticed there were some cookies that made reference to it, so I was like, okay, so I didn't make that. I was like, okay, there's a reference, but where it doesn't really connect. So it's just I probably missed it.
Right.
So
well, I think they still kind of tore away from it, and they didn't.
Which
they,
you know what
didn't
that
set
makes
it in front of
there's some things that happen, some like things happen within the movie later that makes sense too. So I did want to bring up one last thing. There's an opening scene, and what it reminded me of Alfred Hitchcock. Now, it wasn't as good as an Alfred Hitchcock scene by any means, but he said one of the things his theories was film a love scene like it's a murder and film a murder scene like it's a love scene. So that first opening scene kind of really reminded me of that, which I thought was interesting anyway. So, but that's it for me.
Same for me.
So we out again?
Yeah.
We out.
We out.
Says we out.
Yeah.
Bye. I should wait to get up.